Hello, and welcome back to White Noise Level 3 podcast. This is Tuanaku from South Florida, and I'm here with my Siamese. You can't see her, maybe she'll come in a little bit. And I've got Colin, the tuxedo cat, back there. So today we're going to be talking about, here she is, hey baby, the book Broiler by Eli Cranor. And I had finished it over 2 weeks ago, and I just kept on thinking about it. So I definitely wanted to share that with you. She's my Siamese Daisy is hogging the camera. She's total glam. So there she goes. But uh, one of the things that I struggle with since my baby, just give me a kiss. Since my forte is, I know, I love you too. You want some lipstick? Okay. I'm on YouTube too, so if you guys want to find me, then you're going to see what's going on with my Siamese here. Is contemporary fiction. And not that you have to be young and fabulous, but it seems like the author is young and fabulous. Um, and multidimensional. So apparently, Eli Cranor. Let me just read what he has to say about himself. Let's see, baby. Okay. So I'm on elicranor.com, and just quickly, he's a nationally best-selling Edgar Award-winning author who lives and writes from the banks of Lake Dardanelle, where he's a writer in residence at Arkansas Tech University. He's also known for Don't Know Tough and Ozark Dogs, named Best Crime Novels of the Year by the New York Times, among others. And yeah, apparently he has, I checked it out really quickly. He pens the Where I'm Writing From blog on the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. So very much into football and just multidimensional. So uh, I meet a lot of people. Maybe it's mostly in South Florida, no shade, but I meet a lot of people that are just, one thing or the other thing. And there are just so many ways to live your life and explore different opportunities um, on what to do and have your side gigs and your side interests. I'm just gonna move my little baby here. Okay. All right, let's get serious. So, uh, Broiler was actually released just a few seconds ago this summer. And one of the things that I really liked about it is his frankness and how he's able to easily portray the varying socioeconomic levels of this country. I'm sure you can extrapolate to others, but since I've lived here all of my life, he does a really, really, really good job with that, and is able to personify the characters across the different stratas. So, taking a quick looky-loo as to what is happening research-wise, according to recently released May 31st, 2024, Pew Report, The State of the American Middle Class. I just wanted to see the breakout. So, not to get everyone stressed out about the definitions of lower income, middle income, and upper income. I'm sure you can guess what those would be. But there's definitely a squeezing of the middle class, middle income. So in 1971, lower income was 27%. Now it's 30% in 2023. 1971, middle income was 61%. Now it's 51%. So that's a 10-point drop. And upper income was only 11% in 1971, but now it's 19%. So yeah, most of the grab to upper income came from middle income. And this book is filled with consequences of that, just day-to-day lives. And and the character is also being introspective of how did I get here? What were my decisions? What are the decisions of my peers? So, just to give you a few brief examples, it's always challenging to do a book review because I don't want to have any spoilers. I mean, I definitely want you to read this book and to read all the books of my book reviews. But at the same time, you have to talk about it a little bit. So, a few things, a few scenes just kind of stood out to me. Uh, just trying to be as vague as possible. There's some cheating going on among husbands in the uh, upper income, and the wives just kind of shrug it off like, well, have you seen my house? I mean, I'm not going anywhere. So, mm, something to think about there, just personal decisions. I have a crusade about that myself. I mean, uh, if men and women would give themselves a chance, just give themselves a chance to do something, reach in and decide, well, what is meaningful in my life? What are my strengths? Like, where can I go? Um, green light. Then uh, maybe you would be more of a position in a position of calling the shots, and abundance follows, however that may be. So I think that there are a lot of missed opportunities there. Personally, you will not find me in a big house, uh, making tea by myself, knowing that my husband is out there, you know, making his rounds round and round again in the village. That's definitely not going to happen. That's not good. That's not happening for me. And the excuse of, well, look at my house. Well, why don't you try to get your own house or equivalent? Um, I just think that it's a missed opportunity. If nothing else, get on and do a podcast. Just do something. So that would be the first thing that sticks out. Um, I wouldn't say that it's fast paced, but I was going through it. I was just reading it like crazy fast on my smartphone as a Kindle book because the pressing question is what happened to the baby that was kidnapped. So yes, there's a kidnapped baby, only 6 months old, that was sleeping in his crib. So I mean, the most vulnerable time and the safest place that you would think the baby could be. The baby is actually kidnapped, and that's quite early on in the book. So as far as all of the other stories and subplots going on, that there are many, um, that would be the most pressing. Like, what is going on? I need to skip to the end. Please, please save the baby. And to be honest, there were some gut-wrenching scenes where you just don't know if the baby is going to make it or not. So I'll leave that up to you to discover. But it was really just gut-wrenching scenes of just, oh no. Then that leads to the kidnapper. So the kidnapper would be lower class. And I think that there were signs early on that this person was troubled. However, as the book progresses, you just definitely see a quick spiraling downward, worse and worse and worse and worse, which is one thing if you're by yourself, but when you have a 6-month-old baby that you don't even know how to feed, I mean, please, uh, that's just unacceptable to say the least, and very difficult to hear about. Then another, you know, story arc theme would be priorities. What are your, again, I mean, I guess, what are your priorities in life? What are your values? And for the Masters of the Universe in this little town, by the way, the reason why it's called Broiler is because it's a chicken processing factory, chicken, meat to eat. So that's why it's called Broiler. And uh, the the leader of the broiler factory, he is almost entirely concerned, one, about passing some audit so that he can, I guess, continue to make even more money. And two, of course, he's cheating. He's one of those in the village that is out there parading himself, making himself available to anything that walks, apparently. So yeah, so uh, all the while, his son is kidnapped and uh, not really feeling it. I would think, unfortunately, that would be a lower priority. And not to mention, of course, his wife, who is pulling her hair out, doing whatever she can, including, being a double agent and trying to get information from the dark side, the people that were involved in doing this as much as she can, and just, trying to keep it together uh, in a horrible situation. I would have to think one of the worst situations on this planet. So the reason why it's called Nothing is Sacred is the title of this book review is because of that. Nothing is sacred. I mean, you think that the parents of a kidnapped baby, they would both be fully, on board, 1000% invested in getting their baby back, their only baby, as far as I remember, their only baby, boy. But yeah, the father is uh, really out of the house. Let's just put it that way. Then uh, Mr. Cranor also does a really good job of depicting uh, the the immigrant population, which I think, if I remember correctly, tends to be Latin, and uh, really goes into uh, from living in South Florida and being Latin myself. I can tell you right away that family is number one, and you do everything together. You do everything with your family, and he wrote about that. Uh, how there's one like dramatic part of the book where the baby is taken to the kidnappers, relatives, and then there's also this horrible doubt and question of, oh gosh, please don't kidnap this baby. Even if it survives, it's not yours. Please give it back to the family. And the kidnapper may or may not be thinking, I, I want, I want this baby for myself. And then you think about all the cases, a lot of the cases that just come top of mind of all these missing kids and how maybe, something like this may have happened to them. So it's just horrible in that regard, and how completely just trusting and innocent and unable to defend itself, the baby actually is. So he does a really good job with that. I think I read that he has a family, of course, in Arkansas where he's working. So that probably helped him as well, being a father himself, and how he's easily able to write about the perspective of the baby, of a 6-month-old baby. It was just, so horrible. That's what kept me going. I got through the book pretty fast. So in that regard, it's definitely excellent. So yeah, there are basically so many subplots of cheating and values and socioeconomic level and a clash of cultures, country of origin issues, uh, cultural issues when you have this, sudden clash, and uh, and then it just keeps on going and going and going, and just when you think it can't get any worse, it actually does. A subplot just kind of streams up like some kind of solar flare or like a guacamole that you play in the fair. So that I think that may be why it's called broiler, because the temperature just keeps on getting going up and up and up until finally, as with a story arc, there is the blank hits the fan, and just a big explosion. So I'll leave it up to you to discover that. But one of the things that was interesting about that scene is being overconfident. So yeah, you may think that you're a master of the universe. You may think that, you have a wad full of cash at all times. And your wife, doesn't know or tolerates your cheating, and definitely not the A+ husband, right? That you dream about when you're a little girl. But with that, at least in this particular case, there is an issue of overconfidence. And with that said, something could happen that's just a big surprise. Big surprise. And the only thing I'm going to say about that is watch your back. Watch your back. That's the only thing I'm going to say about it. So I think it's a timely book, considering everything that's happening today in this world, with everyone, for the most part, pinching their pennies or knowing people that do because of the higher inflation and all that. But yeah, I mean, definitely pick it up. He's also known for other books that I will be checking out. And yeah, this is exactly the type of book that I wanted to read. Very, very contemporary. Not that you have to be young, but he's, a young author, and looking forward to his new works as well. So I hope that you enjoyed this book review, Broiler by Eli Cranor, and we will be speaking shortly. Thank you.